to the Murph and Dish podcast. I'm here with the man himself, Murph. How we doing today, Murph?
I'm doing amazing today, Vicioso. How are you today?
Doing good. Eagles were 4-0. Fly, Eagles, fly. It was a little rough game. I didn't get to watch really any of it, but I kept up with the score. But won in overtime. That's all that matters.
There you go. Yeah, the Ravens won today too, so let's go.
Hey, let's go.
Pretty good day, man. We did a really good job too, honestly. It wasn't even close though. That's the not the sad part, but like it wasn't close at all.
Yeah, ours was a little closer than I was hoping for, but Commanders are doing pretty decent this year, so can't argue with
I
that.
oh,
So, but we're gonna actually flip it around though today. We are gonna be talking our all-time NBA and current NBA teams. But first off, you know what we got to start with. We have to start with Wordle.
fertile.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry about that. Okay. Murph, what is going to be our 5-letter word for today?
Hmm. Um. Let's go with tough.
Tough. We're going tough again, I think. Didn't we do this, I think, like last week, maybe? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a T somewhere. How about start? Okay. T's at the end. And there's an R somewhere.
Okay. Borat? Is that even a word?
Uh, there's no or oh, but Borat I know is a movie thing.
It's got to be something along those lines. Be something. So I'm assuming the R is in the third spot.
Oh,
So it's B something
oh,
R something
I was gonna say
T.
right, but there's no G or H.
Huh.
Reddit. I don't know if that's considered a word though. I know it's a
I
website,
think
but
I think that's also 6 letters.
oh yeah. Mm,
Red dit. Baron? Is Baron a thing?
yeah, it's 2 R's. Baron.
Damn it.
Um,
Mm,
how about? Oh, there's no S, but I was thinking first. We can see if the R's in the middle. If you
okay.
ain't first,
I know it's in the.
you're last. Okay, yep, you're correct. R's in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's probably something ER something T would be my guess.
Beret. Like the Green Berets?
Uh, is that how you spell it? Oh, I know
I
there's a
think it's
J though.
Beret.
Oh, he is too good, chat. He
Did we
is
get it?
too good. Yes, sir.
Let's freaking go, bro.
I wouldn't even guess that, so you're a lot farther ahead than me.
As soon as you said B, as soon like I realized that the R was going to be the third letter, and I started thinking of words. It was like B something R something T, and then only one word kept coming to mind, which was beret, and I was like, I don't know. Would that even be a word? Like, would they even put that in there?
Well, they did, chat. They did.
Apparently, they did.
Since we're talking NBA, we have to do Pirtle too. So, Murph, who is going to be our guest for NBA players?
Chris Paul,
Chris Paul. Okay.
Christopher Paulson.
So this is Why did nothing? Okay, so apparently we have nothing. Well,
Nice.
okay, so he's an East, and he's not a guard, so he's a forward or center in the East. Higher than above 6 foot, younger than 38, and higher than number 3 jersey.
Younger than 38. What the?
In the how no, well, what about Tate? Jason Tatum? He's not a guard, or do they consider? Yeah. Okay, so he is a forward. He's an East, and he's in the Atlantic Conference, and he's younger than 25.
What is the Atlantic Conference? Holy.
I know. I'm trying to remember the Atlantic Conference off the top of my head. That's like the Celtics, the Brooklyn. What about no? Why am I blanking his name? Because he's younger than 28. He's taller than 6'8". Yeah, what's it? Oh God, why am I blanking? The guy that's been a bust plays for the Knicks. He was on the Sixers. Why am I blanking on his name right now?
Oh, fuck. The kid, right?
Yeah, I think he's younger than Tatum.
RJ Barrett.
Oh, that's not who I'm thinking of, but I like it.
Oh. I thought that's who you were thinking of.
No, gosh, he's on the Nets. Oh God, I gotta look this up real quick, chat, because it's bugging. Ben Simmons, God.
Oh, Benjamin Semiosis.
Because he's tall, right? Because Ben Simmons is taller. He's technically considered. Well, is he considered a forward guard though? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, he plays like 1 through the 4.
Are they gonna? The question is, are they gonna consider him a forward guard, or are they consider him a forward? He's 23. Oh, so he's same age as RJ Barrett, and he's between number 9 and 3. So it's not Ben Simmons. It's not Ben Simmons. It's not Ben Simmons.
It's not young Benji. Hmm.
So it is. So it's Nets, Knicks, Sixers, Raptors, Celtics. So it's either Raptors or Nets. Or sorry, Raptors, Sixers, or Nets is the ones we got. Let's see. Raptors have.
I don't even really know anybody's starting lineup anymore like that.
They got Scotty. No. Sixers. Joel Embiid's too old. Who's their 4-man? We'll say on guess 6. We'll do show silhouette if we're still struggling.
Okay.
Nets have. Oh, is it? No, because he's considered. I'm thinking Mikal Bridges. No, no, that's not his name. Not Mikal Bridges. Gosh, he just got traded to him. Oh God, he played for the Suns.
Played for the Suns.
Oh, I can fucking see his name. Oh.
Didn't Mikal also play for the Suns?
Huh?
Didn't Mikal Bridges also play for the Suns?
Yeah. Who? Oh, gosh, it was Oh gosh. It was a young. Why am I blanking on his name? I can see him. He plays for the. Oh gosh, he was one of their. God, what's it? Why am I blanking on his? Why am I blanking on names right now? I'm looking. I gotta figure out what his name is because that's. Oh no, it was Mikal Bergs. That's who I was thinking of. Okay, just did not sound right in my head. I don't know why that just didn't sound right. Okay, so it is a net. He's considered a guard forward. So it is a net player that's 23 years old and wears the number between 4 and 8.
What the? He's a Nets player. Who the hell even keeps up with the Nets anymore?
Everyone. Dinwiddie's older. I don't. Ben Simmons is not 23. Or is he? No, he's not. He's older than that.
No, he's older.
Oh, is it Cameron Johnson? Nope. Oh, I might have to. I have no idea. I don't know. Freaking. Okay, Cameron Johnson's older. I thought he was younger. I don't know. I don't know. Freaking. Yeah, I don't know. Nets player. I don't know NBA players enough. Or Doris Finley Smith. Nope. Fuck.
Oh yeah, Finley Smith. I forgot about that guy.
Is that Ben Simmons though? Look at that freaking.
That's Benjamin.
I don't. No. Okay. It's not him.
No, it's not freaking Benjamin.
I'm gonna have to look at the roster. I have no.
What the?
Wait. No. Royce is too old. Is that Lonnie Walker? No, Lonnie Walker's Lonnie Walker's technically, I think, a small forward. Or is that Claxton? I don't know who this is. I don't know.
I don't know either, bro. This one has got me stumped.
We'll just go Clacton because I have no. Nick Clacton. Darius Baisley. I don't even know who that guy is. And
yeah, who the fuck is that guy?
I have no idea, sir.
Don't you play with the Nets too in your thingy?
No. That's just I redid the Jazz jerseys.
Oh yeah, you did.
So, well, unfortunate.
Sorry, we're 1 for 1.
We're 1 for 1. Yeah, that's probably one of our roughest ones.
That one was hard, man.
I don't know. I don't know why the NFL one's better because I feel like I know NFL players better, well, at least offensive players, than just all NBA. But
I agree, man. I play more Madden than I do 2K, so even if I forget about a player, like playing Madden, you kind of remember, like, oh shit, that guy is on this team.
Oh yeah, I agree. But like we said earlier, we are going to be talking our current and all-time NBA players. Okay, Murph, do we want to go by position each one, or do we want to give our starting 5 and then our bench? How do you want to attack this?
Well, so let's go. We'll go currents first, and then we'll go legends, and then we'll go starting 5 and bench.
Okay, do we want to do our whole starting 5 and then do each other starting 5 and then do our bench, or do we want to do it by position?
So we'll go by position. So like I'll say my position, and then you can say your position.
Okay. Oh, well, I like it. So we're gonna first start off. We're talking current NBA. Who is your starting point guard, Murph?
So my starting point guard is actually he plays shooting guard right now, but traditionally he is a point guard. I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving as my starting point guard. Current rotations, current rosters.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving is my dog.
Okay.
What about you, Viciosus?
I am going with arguably one of the best, if not best, shooters of all time in Steph Curry.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep
Yeah.
him off that list. I mean, Kyrie's good ball handler and all that, but Curry is by far the best, if not, one of the best shooters of all time. Got to put him in
100%.
there.
You
I
got
know he's
to.
getting. I know he's getting older, but he's still putting up amazing stats, being older too.
I agree, man.
We're getting to a point where we're about to see a lot of legendary names be out of the NBA here real soon, which is really sad. But
You know what? On that note, Vicious, did you have you taken notice recently that every single player that we've watched growing up, even in the middle of our like growing up, is now retired or out of the NFL?
oh, I know.
There's barely anybody from our era like still playing. Now this is just the new generation. Like I was sitting there the other day and I'm thinking, I'm like, who is still in the NFL?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it's both, and then I feel like NBA you have a little bit more longevity, but we're about to see some of that longevity. I mean, there's a lot of rising stars, which I have some of that on on my list, but there also is a lot of stars that have been around for a long time that are no longer going to be with us here probably within the next 5 years, which is crazy to think about.
It makes you sad actually when you think about it because you grow up watching these guys and now it's like, damn, now I kind of know how my parents felt, or like I know how my dad felt.
Oh yeah, it is. I agree. It's you hear all these old times. Oh, back in the day with this guy, and you're like, okay, like who is this guy? But then you're gonna be the guy here in like 30 years being like, oh yeah, I remember Steph Curry just being the ultimate shooter and stuff like that, and kids are gonna be like, yeah, I mean he's okay. I mean,
Right?
I
And
feel
then
like
they're
that's how it is with these teams. Is you don't like you just never got to watch them, so you didn't get to fully appreciate them, or you were too young to actually appreciate what they're doing. Now it's like, okay, now you can actually see it. So
I agree, man. I agree. It just I don't know, man. It feels weird thinking about it now.
yeah, it is. It is. Who are you going as your shooting guard?
So shooting guard. Now you're gonna. This is kind of like a reverse role. A role reversal. I think I'm gonna have to just put my boy, Luka Doncic up there, man. That guy is so versatile. I mean, his handles are amazing for somebody his size and his stature. He can really handle the ball, and he's an amazing shooter as well. Not gonna lie to you, that guy can really throw down when it comes to basketball. Okay, that guy's one goal is to put the ball through the hoop, and he does an immaculate job of doing that.
Oh, he does. He does. I can't argue with that.
What about you, Vicious Sosos?
Well, the person that I put at my two guard, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to throw a little people kind of off balance, but I also went Luca.
Yes, sir.
Just Luca, for he's still coming around. He's going to be one of the best players. We talked about a lot of those players about to be done, and he's kind of one of those future players that's going to continue the league, continue that streak going. So
Yep, I agree.
now, who are you doing as your small forward?
My small forward. Growing up, just because we grew up in that Kobe LeBron era, it made me kind of unappreciative of LeBron's kind of abilities, if you will. Because I was always the guy who was I've always been a huge Kobe fan, and I will always be a Kobe fan. I still have the poster from when I was like 8 or 9. My mom got me like a Kobe poster. I still have it somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm gonna have to put LeBron up there, man. I mean, at what he's freaking 40, and you just think about his entire career. Like, I mean, just the name itself holds all the weight and all the reasoning as to why I chose him. But he's that veteran on the court that is basically the orchestrator. When you have all these stars on the same team, you're gonna need somebody to be a leader who has that respect. And I'm thinking about it too deep, but that's just where my brain goes is that LeBron automatically gets all that respect from every player all the time. and you see that clip where he's going against, I think it's the Grizzlies, and somebody's talking shit to him, and he says something, and John Morant and all the other Grizzly players are like, all right, LeBron, relax, please, bro, like just chill, please. Like they're telling him, please. Like, when do you ever see that in any sports where they're asking a player, please calm down? That don't happen. They're just talking shit back to the other guy. But I gotta go, Bron. What about you, Vicious Osis?
Same. I mean, I don't think
Bron,
there's anyone else to argue with in this position. I mean, unless you wanted to put LeBron considered power forward and probably throw someone like Durant in that spot. But I mean, LeBron James, he is all-time leading scorer. He has multiple things. I know there's always the great debate between LeBron, Kobe, MJ. In my mind, it's MJ over all of them, but it's hard to argue, especially now in the current NBA, where even with LeBron being older, he is still one of the most dominant players in the entire league and takes so much attention. I mean, realistically, LeBron could play probably for another 10 years before, he would hit a wall.
Yeah.
In my mind, and he could easily just take on the entire league at freaking 50 years old and still be showing. There's going to be kids that weren't even born and conceived yet playing LeBron before his time even started in the NBA. That's I could see that happening. Obviously, I don't think he'll play that long, but I could see it happening.
Yeah.
How are you?
I agree.
Oh, sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I was just saying I agree.
Who are you picking as your power forward, Murph?
See, this is where it gets kind of hard because for me, Kevin Durant is another one of those players that we all watched growing up, and he's still kind of in the league. He doesn't really play as big of a role unless he really needs to. But and then I'm juggling between him and Joker at the starting position. I think, that's difficult for me, man. To bench Durant over Joker, but Joker doesn't really play defense that well either, so I gotta put KD in the start, man. I have to put KD in the start.
Okay.
I gotta put my boy KD up there, man. I just love his game. And even for a little bit when I was in middle school not transferring, I was in middle school, I was really big into basketball, all because of Dwight Howard and KD. So, I was really good on defense, and I had one move, and that was the post fadeaway. That was it. That's all I could do and shoot mid range. That was it. All because of KD.
Okay.
So I gotta go KD, Vish. What about you?
Like I said, KD's a great player. I think with what has I kind of broke mine down off of their main position. I know the league is becoming pretty much a positionless league where you could really play anything anywhere. But I put Giannis at my power forward.
Oh, it's Jonas. Okay, that's a really good pick.
He's just, he's been showing, he's been putting up. He's one of the rising stars. I mean, I wouldn't say one of the rising stars. He is one of the stars in the league. I feel like he's going to be one of the names that get kind of brought up, in the league. That's going to be kind of a long-term kind of problem in the league. Once we see LeBron and Steph and kind of some of those Durant, some of those guys fizzle out, Giannis is still going to be there and still putting up dominant numbers.
I agree. 100% I agree, man. That guy's a monster. A freaking freak of nature.
Who are you going? So I'm kind of curious now. Where are you going with your center?
So who your power forward is my center. Okay. I got to put my boy Giannis up there. That's the exact reason. I mean, honestly, he's one of the most dominant just players in general in the NBA. And when you look at his stride, Vicious, the dude basically starts his stride from the 3-point line for a layup or a dunk. He's a freaking antelope. The dude's a weirdo. There's very few people who start their layup drive at his first step is at the 3-point line. By his second step, he's already in the paint. I mean, plays amazing defense. He's developed his offensive game. He's got a little bit of a 3-pointer now. Not much, but a little bit. Something is better than nothing. So I think my center has definitely got to be my boy Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
What? Who's your center, Viciosus?
Jokic.
Oof. Okay.
So I mean, I feel like Jokic. I would never probably put Jokic at the 4. If based off what you were saying, I would have been battling between Giannis and Durant. Just because I feel
Yeah.
like Giannis can play the center, but I feel like Jokic is a lot more keen to the center. So I went with Jokic. I mean, he's still rising, becoming good. Just won, league MVP, Finals MVP. Uh, and he's just a big body that can shoot. I mean, he's pretty much Shaq if Shaq could shoot the ball outside. He's not as good a defender as Shaq, but I feel like he's one of those ones that you could put back in the old times in the league, and he would still do really good with the old timer Shaq, and when it was the big men were big one, and you're not seeing as much of these like stretch 4s and 5s.
Okay. Okay. That's respectable. The only the center's position is to be like the anchor. Like that's his responsibility. Not only just to, and I know we're kind of moving into an era of basketball where everybody is expected to be able to shoot threes, as opposed to like growing up watching centers like Serge Ibaka or like even a Kevin Garnett. He really didn't play center; he played power forward, but he rarely ever shot a 3-pointer because that post fadeaway was too disgusting. Back in the day, you'd watch a lot of these centers or power forwards just dominate the paint, and nowadays you kind of barely will catch like a center and really work in the paint, and that's kind of like a lost art in my opinion. And not to say Jokic isn't good in the paint, you know what I mean, but I just feel like defensively he lacks not the IQ, just the motivation to want to be good on defense. That's kind of why me personally, that's just my reasoning as to putting him at power forward because my center is going to be able to do the defensive and the offensive. Like, when you're down by like 4 or 6 points, you need those quick 4 to 6 points real quick. You just give it to the big man in the paint, let him do his magic. Takes about 7 to maybe 12 seconds. Boom. But that's a good pick, though. Jokic, undeniable player, man. He's, like you said, just all around an amazing player. And watching him in the playoffs was crazy.
Okay. So with our bench, we're going a little different here. You can kind of pick anybody on your bench. You can, kind of small ball, whatever it is. Murph, who are you picking? Who is your bench people?
Uh, this is kind of difficult for me thinking about it because I'm just kind of like the way I like the era of basketball I like to watch is closely related to football. I like that old school physical basketball, like a Vince Carter who didn't care how many people were in the paint. He's gonna go and dunk that damn thing. So I really love Ja Morant's play style. I get it; he's a troublesome guy. He has a lot of problems, but you know what? Who cares? He's dunking on 7-footers. He's dunking on these monsters of humans and just doesn't care who's in the paint. He's going for it, man. And I love that ambition. I love that drive. Me, my bench point guard is gonna have to be Moranski's.
Okay.
Who are you going with, Vish?
Uh, so for my bench point guard, like I said, my bench I'm kind of doing more of a just players. Like I feel like I move people around where need be. If I did have to kind of go bench point guard, mine's gonna be the greatest Portland Trail Blazer of all time, Drew Holiday. But the stuff he did. I'm just joking.
Oh, okay.
I'm just joking. Damian Lillard.
I was gonna say I didn't expect that at all, but okay.
No, I'm just making. Drew Holiday is now already on the move, which is funny. He got traded to get traded again, so how to throw that in. He lasted, like a day with the Blazers or 2 days, whatever it ended up being. So, but yeah, I'm going Dame Dalla.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
unstoppable. Again, he's got that limited range like Steph Curry does. I know he hasn't really won anything, hasn't won much, but his loyalty to the Blazers, that just barely ended, which I wouldn't even say it ended. It was just, you know, time he wanted to move on with his career and go somewhere else. But yeah, I think I would say he's my backup point guard.
Okay. 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 That's a solid pick, man. I'll tell you what.
Who you going with next on your bench, Murph?
See, now everybody is gonna laugh at me for this pick, but I could, to me, I get it. He's a wash. He's a bust. Uh, I'm going Ben Simi, man. He's always been like my guy. Whether it's in 2K, because in 2K, if you know how to use Ben Simmons right, that dude is busting through Giannis and making them layups. He doesn't care. And I think, for that little bit of time where he was kind of like the man, he was doing really, really good. So I'm going with Ben Simi as my bench shooting guard.
Okay.
How about you, Vishaposis?
I'm going with another young talent that is going to, be one of those guys. How some of those names we talked about earlier that are about to be out of the league. He's going to be another one that takes over the mantle. Kind of already has a little bit, but I'm going to Devin Booker.
Ooh, D-Book.
D-Book, he can shoot. He can, just a all-time good player. Can play. I feel like he doesn't really play the three, but I mean he's been the Suns just like Lillard is the Blazers. He's been the Suns recently. Now obviously they've got Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. It's going to be scary because you can't stop all of them. So, but
Right.
I'm putting him as my two guard.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay. That's respect. That's respect.
Who else are you going on your bench? Number 3 on your bench. Who's that?
Number 3 on the bench. Oh man. See, I'm battling between people here.
You got 3 spots. We're doing 5 bench players, so you got 3 spots.
Oh. So I got what? A point guard, a shooting guard, and now I got to think of somebody who can kind of play all the positions. Oh man. Is DeMar DeRozan still in the league?
Yes, he is.
Then give me DeMar DeRozan, man. I'm taking DeMar DeRozan. He's tall enough to where he can play the 3. I got the big man down there. He'll be fine. He'll be okay. And if I need to put him on the 4, I'll put him on the 4. But I think everything above from the 4, he's pretty proficient. He's kind of a legendary player, in my opinion. I know recently he's kind of slowed down a lot, but I think I'm taking DeMar DeRozan.
Okay. I'm laughing because the only thing I can think of is that Allstate skit with was it Kanye and Will Ferrell? The more I say it, the less I like it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't know why that is. The second you said that, that's the first thing that popped into my head. Not his playing. It was the more I say it, the less I like it. Oh.
What about you, Viciosus? Who you going with?
I'm kind of, I got 2 guys that can kind of intermingle between my 3 and 4, kind of on this one. First person I'm going with is obviously Kevin Durant. Like, he's a great player. You got to have him on your team.
You got to.
You got to have him. Like, he is one of the best players in the NBA right now. So I'm going Kevin Durant skis. The Durantula.
The Durantula.
Here's your
Okay.
next one, Murph.
E. Okay, so this is where I was talking about the 4 position on bench. I think I'm going Jokic, man. KD's gonna start put up them points. When I need somebody who's kind of chill on the field, on the field. I'm still thinking about football. On the court, bring in Jokic, man. We already explained why Jokic is an amazing pick. It's no reason to explain it twice. Vicious said it beautifully the first time. That guy's amazing. What about you, Viciosus? Who's going to be your fourth on the bench?
Kawhi.
Kawhi. Okay.
You know, you know, he is, not one of offensive wise, he puts up pretty good numbers. He's kind of consistently improved on his offensive side, but a defensive side of the ball, he is probably top 5 in those defenders. I know recently he's kind of been healthy, he hasn't played as much games, but when he was, he was a big part in, San Antonio. I know he's kind of was one of the younger players on that team, but still integral part to San Antonio. And then, he went to the Raptors and led them to a championship. But yeah, I'm going to go Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi. Okay.
And now, Murph, who's taking your last bench spot?
So now this is where you're going to be shocked. You might laugh at me along with the rest of the audience here. I'm going to pick somebody who's young. Okay. He's very good. Okay. He's very athletic for his size. Give me that man, Bol Bol. Give me Bol Bol. Okay. That boy is nimble at 7'1" or 7'2". He can even bring the ball up the court. He be shaking people. His post game is amazing. His defense is crazy. And when you just see his overall athleticism at that size, a lot of people that are his size usually aren't that athletic. They don't do the things that he can do. And I get it. It's probably because he's 125 pounds. Obviously, that's sarcasm. He's not obviously 125 pounds, but he's a very tall, lanky guy who can really, really move. Give Kevin Durant, without the shooting ability and the finesse, give Kevin Durant, 8 or 9 more inches, and that's Bol right there. Bol is just, I don't know, he's just so much fun for me to watch. And I'm if I ever was an NBA coach or owner or whatever, I'm getting Bol at all costs. Okay. What about you, Vicious? Who are you going at the 5 on a bench?
My last person on the bench is I'm going, he's kind of been hurt, stuff like that, but Anthony Davis.
Oh.
It kills me to have 2 Lakers on this list. It will always kill me, but I got Anthony Davis. It's kind of between him and Embiid, but I'd rather go Anthony Davis over Joel Embiid.
Embiid.
But that would be my kind of, like I said, I have a lot of 3/4 players that would kind of intermingle between the 3 and the 5, but my bench, right. I kind of more wanted a little variety and stuff like that instead of having just one of each position. So,
yeah,
that is our current NBA teams. Let us know who you thought had the better team. We had close to similar starting lineups, with a few exceptions, but our benches were pretty different, honestly.
Yeah, they were.
Jokic was both on our teams, but besides that, our benches were, and I guess Durant, you can take Durant, Jokic, but our benches were kind of a little different. So let us know.
I agree.
Who you thought won the battle?
If our teams went head to head, whose team do you think would win?
You can say mine, chat. It's fine. Now we're gonna be going all time.
This is where it gets fun.
This is where it's gonna get interesting. We're gonna find some stuff out. I feel like we did kind of last episode with NBA, so I'm kind of interested to see and excited to see where this goes. So Murph, all-time point guard, who you going with?
You know who I'm going. This man was getting his hair braided in the middle of a game. This man was a dual sports star. I'm taking a big AI. Give me Allen Iverson, the guy that stepped over Ty Lue after dogging on him. I think he's the embodiment of the type of basketball that I love to watch, that make a guy piss himself because he's so scared he doesn't know which way you're going. The same reason why I picked Kyrie. People who do interviews on these NBA podcasts now, they say that the same things that they kind of said about AI, especially with the handles about Kyrie. The guy forces you to play his game. You don't know which way he's going. That's because even he doesn't know which way he's going. He's just waiting for you to open up somewhere, and then he's just gonna attack it. And by the time he attacks it, it's too late for you to counter it. So I'm going. And oh my gosh, one of the most flashiest passers aside from white chocolate. What? Give me AI, man. I'm taking AI all day.
Okay, okay.
What about you, Viciosis? What about you?
This all-time list, I keep hearing names. You kind of keep going through names and stuff like that as you're going through the list, and it's like, oh wow, this person. Oh wow, this person. And by the end you get done, you're like, huh, I meant like that person would have maybe been good too. But I'm starting with the. It's not the most typical. I mean, he's in the NBA Hall of Fame for a reason. Two-time all he owns 2 all-time stats in the league, assists and steals. I gotta go with the legendary point guard John Stockton.
Okay, Johnny Stock.
Johnny
Okay,
Stockton. I
so
mean, what else is there to say? Like, I know because he played the Jazz and there wasn't as much, and he never won an NBA title. But how many people can you say in the entire league have the all-time category in 2 different categories?
yeah,
He is the assist and steal leader. And even if you look at that list, it is ridiculous the amount of how many people he's behind. I actually need to look this up real quick for you. Here, we're going to... just because I need to see this real quick. I'm just kind of curious on this. So, all-time steals. He had 3,265. The next closest person is Jason Kidd with 2,685. The closest active player is Chris Paul, who's actually number 3 and has 2,544. That means Chris Paul still needs 700 plus steals to even pass John Stockton. So, and then with the assists too, it's crazy. He has 15,806. Next, second closest was Jason Kidd with 12,000. So, second most in the all-time NBA is 3,000 less than him. The current person and there's 2 current players behind him at 3 and 4, and that's Chris Paul, LeBron James. Chris Paul 11,501, LeBron James 10,420. Like, they are still 5 and 4,000 assists plus behind this man. So, I mean, just to go on more, I don't know, I probably didn't even need to go explaining why I picked him, but I had to bring up the stats because those numbers are just ridiculous that he's that far ahead of everyone else.
you had to flex, Fish. You had to flex.
Flex on him. And I have to flex because that's like one of the only things that you can say good about the Utah Jazz for the most part. So, but I had to flex on them. Gotta flex when you can. Okay, Murph, shooting guard. Who you going with?
I don't even need to say it. R.I.P. my dog. Long live Kobe. That's my boy right there. I think, when it comes to that LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe conversation, I think everybody always has bias mixed in, and my bias has always been around Kobe, always been about Kobe. As long as I can remember, I started playing 2K. At 2K10, I always made a shooting guard. I always YouTubed how to make a Kobe build. Even now, I have a bowl build in the 2K24, and I have a shooting guard based off of Kobe. So for the last, 24 years? No, Jesus Christ. For the last 14 years, it's just been Kobe every single 2K. If I ever play an exhibition game or whatever, Kobe. Always. Always Kobe. That's my dog. Kobe's my shooting guard, and Kobe is in my heart. That's my player.
Okay.
What about you, Viciotosis?
I'm going with my person who I think is the, earns the debate and owns the debate, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, got multiple things. Yes, does he have, like, the all-time stats and stuff like that? No, but He, won numerous championships. He, numerous All-Stars, numerous Defensive Players of the Years, numerous MVPs. Like, can't go against that man. So I'm going MJ in my shooting guard.
Solid pick, man. Solid pick.
Who you going at your small forward?
I'm gonna take Vince Carter. Especially in his prime, Vince Carter, Team USA, Vince Carter, 360 dunking over like a 7-footer or whatever. Rim hanging. The dude had nuts the size of boulders. He didn't care, and plus, just the finesse in that player of that time was just so beautiful to watch. And I find myself still going back to this day and watching Vince Carter highlights, Kevin Durant highlights, AI highlights. Obviously I'm not as well versed with the stats like Vicioso is here, but I know what I know in my heart. And Vince Carter was my dog, man. I just love his play style and his fearlessness to attack the rim, and even when he needed to just sit back, shoot a three, his percentage was probably really good too. But Vince Carter's my boy. I'm putting him at small forward.
Okay.
Who are you putting up there, Vicious?
I mean, we talk about the GOAT debate, and you got to throw the other GOAT in the debate in there, LeBron James. We've already discussed him, but again, one of the most dominant players in the NBA. He deserves to be in the starting 5 all time, in my opinion.
I agree. I do agree. He deserves that, man.
Who you going at your 4?
My quattro. So when you think about the big men of that era, there's so many you could choose from. Karl Malone. You could even put Kareem and then have Hakeem. You could do so many dangerous combinations here. But, this is my all-time favorite list. So you know what? I'm going to have to put my boy D10 up there. Or D12. Damn. I called him D10 and I'm a huge fan.
D10, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I know who he's talking about, but...
Damn it. My boy D12 has got to go up there, man. I bought an arm, whatever you want to call it, an arm sleeve just because of him in middle school when I was really big into playing basketball. So, D12 is my guy. I know he's a center traditionally, but you'll understand why I have him at power forward when you hear who my center is. Who's your power forward, Richard?
My power forward is, you brought him up. Karl Malone,
Yeah, I knew it.
The mailman,
The mailman.
John Stockton didn't get all that stuff by himself. He had someone he had to pass to, and that man was Karl Malone.
Karl Malone.
I absolutely kind of hated it when he went to the Lakers. Essentially, toward the end of his career to go ring chasing. I unfortunately absolutely hated that part, and don't like that part of Karl Malone. But Karl Malone, the mailman, another, Utah Jazz icon. Yeah, there's not nothing much else to say about that man.
Agreed. Karl Malone is a legendary player for the Jazz. They don't have many, but he was definitely up there.
Now, I think I know where you're going with this one, but who are you going with your center?
Shaquille O'Neal! Give me Shaq!
Okay.
Shaq and D12? What? I don't even think Hakeem, Kareem, anybody else whose names rhyme with that in the NBA at that time frame could even do anything with that low. That freaking 4 and 5, what are you doing with that? What? Who? And you might be able to score a couple, but guess what? Shaq's just going to go up there and dunk the damn thing on anybody, every time. The dude didn't care. There was an interview one time, or he was at a press conference or something like that, and he goes, the only person that really gave me a challenge back in my time was Yao Ming. He didn't bring up anybody else's name aside from Yao Ming. That means everybody else in that era was a cakewalk. So I think just give me my boy Shaq, man. Just give me my boy Shaq.
Okay.
Who's your center, Viciatosis?
Again, this one kind of pains me. I've never been a big Lakers fan, so it pains me that I keep putting these Laker players into my list. But Shaq, I know Shaq,
Oh yeah.
played for multiple teams and stuff like that. He pretty much dressed up as the rainbow with every team that he played with. But I'm going with Shaq.
Is there
Too dominant of a player.
agreed?
Okay, now we're going benches, Murph. Your five
Oof.
bench players.
You
Where are we going first? Pick.
know what? I think my bench player. Oh man. I'm okay. I'm just gonna pull it. Give me Steve Nash, man. I wanted to say white chocolate because, again, as you can tell, the I don't know how to say it, but the way I like to watch basketball is that flashy physical basketball, and white chocolate was arguably one of the most flashy passers, one of the most efficient passers. And he was such a dangerous player with how good he was at passing the ball that you're like anticipating him to pass, but boom, that's a layup. That's 2 points on your head top. So I'm going Steve Nash, man. There's nothing to say, nothing to explain. Steve Nash speaks for himself. One of the greats, man. What about you, Vicious? Who's your bench PG, baby?
Well, again, I think actually this, my all time, I kind of tried to stay close to their actual positions. Might have a few, but this one again played for the Lakers at a point in time. I kind of hated him. Same reason I hated Carmelo and felt like they were going ring chasing. I think they actually were on the no different teams, but kind of went ring chasing at the end of the career, which I mean is not the best. But I wish he would go ring chasing at other teams. But I'm going Steve Nash as well.
Steven. Gotcha.
Okay, who's your next bench player, Murph?
Shooting guard, I'm going to go with Chipmunk Cheeks. Give me D Wade. One of the most diverse players I think I have ever seen play the game. His ability to just make a shot out of literally nothing, and that playoff run with LeBron James on the Heat, or that was just crazy to watch that whole series. I mean, there's other things that happened in the NBA that you could relate and that kind of correlate to that, but that was something special in its own. I mean, people still have that picture of him throwing the oop and he's got his little eagle wings out. People still have that as their wallpaper. Like diehard Heat fans, they have that as their wallpaper. So that was such a monumental moment in the NBA, and I think D Wade has always been just a force to be reckoned with on the court. So I think I'm going with Big D Wade, man.
Okay.
Who you going with, Vicious?
Again, this one hurts for me to say. Probably out of all of them, this one hurts the most. I gotta go Kobe.
Kobe's.
Never been a big Kobe fan, but I have to respect it. So I'm going Kobe. I know Murph. You might not talk to me after this podcast, but
Jack, this is the last episode. We're done after this.
it was nice.
Like,
Why it lasted 21 episodes until Murph found out I wasn't a Kobe fan, so I had to keep it.
no, you gotta include like the 5 or 7 that we did on the other one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, like say 26 episodes, and then I've known Murph for about a year and a half now, and now he's gonna befriend me. So, you know. But yeah, no, I'm going Kobe. As much as I hate to say it. So.
Respect. That's my dog right there, Vicious. That's my dog.
Who you going to with your 3, or your third bench player?
I'm going with the Baltimore baby. Give me Carmelo Anthony. That guy can score 25 points without even dribbling the ball more than 3 times, man. That guy is so efficient. When he was on the Nuggets or even like his earlier years with the Knicks, people are doubling him. And I know he kind of died down, but even when he did start getting a little bit older, he was the player that's sitting in the corner waiting for the open three. And even if it's like a little bit contested. That shit is still gonna go in, man. Melo is by far one of my favorite players.
Okay.
Yeah, give me Carmelo, man. That guy's smooth like butter.
Okay.
What about you, Bishop Moses?
I mean, I've already brought him up, already talked about him, but I'm going Durant. Durant, I mean, I
Hey,
think we've
Dizzle.
kind of said enough about Durant this episode, so not gonna go more detail, but Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Who you going with your next pick, Murph?
This is where it gets kind of funky because, like I said, in the earlier days, there's so many bigs, so many greats, man. Just think I'm gonna just go with another unorthodox big duo, man. Give me Hakeem.
Hakeem the
Hakeem was,
Dream.
oh yeah, that guy was what 7 foot tall, 6'11", something like that. Just a monster in the paint. He gave us zero shits about what was going on.
Okay.
So I'm definitely taking Hakeem Olajuwon. That hook, man, unstoppable.
Agree.
What about you, Vishabosis?
Um, my last two, my bigs, I kind of I was going between a lot of different things. I was thinking, currents. I was thinking of, a lot came through my head. I was thinking of, I mean, Tim Duncan was one on top of my head.
Ooh, damn.
Tim Duncan was on there. Um, you know, Luke Walton. There, you have
He was really good.
you had Larry Bird. There's all these players that kind of came to mind on my bigs, and I didn't know where to go. I think it's a little bit biased of why I'm not picking Tim, just because kind of growing up, I wasn't much of a Spurs fan. Jazz Spurs kind of always had a rivalry with like the Lakers as well. So wasn't
Mhm.
like the biggest fan of the Spurs. Now I appreciate that team they did have, but I am gonna go with Kevin Garnett.
Oh, beautiful pick. Absolutely beautiful.
So, and Murph, who is taking your last spot?
This is where it is going to be tricky. Hmm. I think I'm going to steal one of your picks. I think I'm going Timmy Duncan. Well, he wasn't your pick, but he was definitely one that you were debating about. I think Timmy Duncan. I think he won Defensive Player of the year, and I think he held the record for like the most blocks. Um, and again, one of those players that forces you to play at his pace. He may not have been the best post scorer, but Tim Duncan was an amazing role player, and he always did what he was supposed to do. He was always where he was supposed to be. Tim Duncan is a very reliable player, and I think putting him at center would kind of tie the team together. At
Okay.
least the bench squad, in my opinion. Who's your center, Vish?
See, like I said, I was kind of going through a bunch of different people, a bunch of different things as I was going through this. I said with all those my 4 and my 5, I was kind of going all over, just different names. I never really saw this player play a whole lot, but I'm going with Wilt Chamberlain. Again, he's a
Ooh, Wilkie.
Laker. Hate that I have so much Lakers on this list, but I got to go with Wilt Chamberlain. Has the most points ever in a single game, plus just his stats alone. Great player. Like I said, there's a bunch of people that I named earlier that were just ones that came to mind. Bill Russell was another one, but I'm going with Wilt Chamberlain.
It's a great pick, man. And it's hard with all these legendary players, man, because they were all so great. And like you said earlier, you go through the names, and as you're thinking of a name, or you look at one name, you're like, oh man, but I remember this person or that person. So it gets difficult, especially when it comes to the greats.
I agree, especially too when you're narrowing down every NBA player into 10.
Yeah,
Definitely,
literally.
definitely difficult. So, but let us know who you think had the better all-time roster. If they went head-to-head, me or Murph. Or were you surprised by any of our picks or people that were left out on potentially our teams? Let us know in the comment sections. Message us on Twitter if you're interested. But looks like we're kind of getting close to the end of this episode. We always have to, if you guys have any questions for us that are here in chat, let us know. And while we're waiting for maybe some of those questions to come in, Murph, what is your question for today?
Mm, what's one matchup that you've always wanted to see? And it could be like two legendary players, two current players, or a legendary versus a current player.
I mean, I know it's a little different in size and stuff like that, but I mean, a one-on-one with Michael Jordan and LeBron James would be freaking absolute dope.
That
I
would.
know like they're both in their primes. Like I would be that would be very fun to watch that matchup. I know they're two different size, two different builds, but I think it would be a great matchup.
I agree, man. That would be a really cool matchup to watch.
How about you, Murph?
Me, I'm gonna go AI versus Kyrie just to see, the real battle of the handles. Just to see how many times they cross one another out, or like if one could just pick up and start predicting what the other one is gonna do. Like, I think that would be such a cool little 1v1 to watch. In my personal opinion, I would thoroughly enjoy. I'd pay good money to watch that.
Okay. Well, that is gonna be the end of the episode. We didn't get any questions. Appreciate Star War Frog and Boa for tuning in live with us live here, as well as anyone that might be here in chat that didn't stop by and say hi. We still appreciate you guys being there, lurking to us, as well as we appreciate anyone that watches on YouTube. We're excited to kind of keep going with these episodes. Like I said, we had hit episode this 21. We hit episode 20 last week, and we're hoping for more and more episodes to keep coming. So again, though, if you have any suggestions, any topics that you think we should talk about, let us know. DM us on Twitter. Put it here in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. But we appreciate all of you that tuned in as always, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.